Hey everybody, my name is Coomer. I'm a poet here. I'll be your host tonight. Big thanks to Karis, taking care of all the suds for your buds. Yeah. Next month we'll do another all poetry open mic, and that'll be on the 2nd of August. All poetry, bring them poems. Before we start, I want to take a moment for us to reflect on the fact we're currently on land stolen from the indigenous peoples of this region, namely the Cherokee, Shawnee, and Chickasaw. Alright, let's do the spiel. This is a safe space for poetic expression. This isn't a place for bigotry of any kind. There will be no jeering or heckling. We are a supportive community. We're here because we believe in the power of the word. Let's help elevate not only our own words, but the words of all our fellow poets. And though we don't believe in censorship, fuck that, content warnings for especially sensitive material are appreciated. And if you haven't heard, we have a sign-up sheet at the end of this table where my buddy James is sitting with a delicious Tupperware container full of cookies to entice you to read poems. Yeah. All right. So one more time, let's give a hand for Sherry Coomer for the cookies. All right, first up, we've got Memphis Lucas. Everybody put your hands together for Memphis Lucas.
I didn't write a poem for the prompt about opening a door, sadly, but I guess just imagine you walk to a door, you open it, and you look down, and then boom, here's this poem. I recently read a book from Cormac McCarthy called Blood Meridian, and this poem has been inspired by it. It's not too dark of a book, but it's kind of flinching, suspenseful if you're interested. But it's about how the Wild West was like brutally won on the frontier. But this poem is called The Fourth. It's also about 4th of July. Okay. The red evening follows, and a killing, a desecration, an evil, so impartial going, slathering itself amongst white desert and embalming the bright azure sky. Stars whipped into arrangement, ordering like the tight-leashed assistant of the bearer. Fingertips laying blood to be crossword threads tied around the neck, hoisted up high off the ground, dangling out in the breeze with a snapping sound. The spirits nestled within petted rock, bleached on top and dark on the backdrop, or the decaying salmon still swimming back home. Even persons most foul, all burning at once as though ball lightning languidly clawing mountaintops. But these deemed persons claim heaven descent, outlining the spines of their frames against the scene, from the punctures left seeping for all different elysium. Windows glaring down from a nose, the shutters flicking every second at shuddering tortured breath. These windows like suns, but even our sun can be rendered insignificant from a great distance. Each one believing in a final tethering to a destined nuclei, a gut-ridding birth paradisial, fathering Eden, inevitably unattainable. The flapping and haze winking of tiny replicates spawned, all marching or riding in columns on this white desert, blowing at the asteroid debris thrusted to the sky, quivering from that distant, rusted bayonets and wetted bowie knives as they flail, struggling in a great wind, but not knowing the wind is what they struggle against. Horses, death puffing, bloated and fixed amongst the plains, hided canvases set ablaze, many scalped and left to gurgle, to moan, soon many more all scattered around, trying to breathe if still drawing breath, but only gathering in gun smoke. All each bloody, all ruined as the skin sags off a bone, a type of red only found from entrails or against the skull wetly shown, and each left to die with family but agony all alone.
Memphis Memphis, Lucas, y'all. With the corner parking spot. Next up, we've got the cookie maker extraordinaire, my mom, Sherry Coomer, y'all.
I'm so happy to see everybody. Are we supposed to read? 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay, so I did the assignment this morning late. I had to text Drew and ask him what it was. And so, of course, I named it The Door. Do you want to? The assignment was you're taking a walk and a door is just hovering there. Do you walk through it or do you go by it? And then what do you see? So that is called The Door. Walking through the woods on a path worn for centuries by Americans born long before. I smelled the cedar smoke and then I saw the door. Made of rough wood, it stood on the honeysuckle's path, chanting to be heard beyond it. As I walked through, the chanting grew, the air now thick with the clean smell of cedar, the drums making my chest ache. Gathered around their fire, singing, chanting, dancing, peaceful hunters and gatherers, taking only what they need, leaving the rest to grow and thrive. Their song fills my heart, then fills it with sadness, knowing what was done to them, knowing we took that Eden. I turn away to find the door, but it is just a beautiful, fragile cobweb. The veil is thin. I can still hear the drums, and I can still smell their cedar. Too bad for last minute. Not too bad.
That was great.
For last minute.
Last minute.
And this one I wrote yesterday on the 4th of July, and I titled it, What Remains. I was born in 1959, long before most of you were dreamed, long before a moonwalk or an internet or a civil rights march. Say what you will about us baby boomers and our granny bloomers, but we began the steady turn from bigotry toward equality, from hatred to free love. Peace and love were our mantra, and I carry it today. Not all my generation, but most can say. We made mistakes, and we screwed things up. Resources we took lightly. We didn't know about holes in our sky or how our earth could bleed dry. We did our best with what we had, with what we knew, and what remains we leave to you. The last one I'm just going to wing, okay? It's titled Resist. What can I say? I'm horrified. What can I do? I'm terrified. When the marginalized are criminalized against his people, who do we call for help? Who do we trust? Today, to straddle that fence, to stand in the middle, is cowardice. But it's not my judgment that should be concerning, though I do judge you. I don't want to, but I do. What can I say? I'm horrified. What can I do? I'm terrified. Thanks.
Coomer, y'all. All right. Delicious cookies, they are available for you as an enticement to share your poetry. Next up, we have Eric S. Everybody put your hands together for Eric.
All right. Does anybody else ever watch Ponyo? All right. Ponyo is a great kids movie. It's my favorite kids movie. It's the happiest movie ever. My favorite line from that movie is "The ocean is at your doorstep." Excuse me. This poem I called "The Ocean is at Your Doorstep," and I wrote it with all of you in mind about an hour ago. All right. There are moments onto which we can calculate down to a single atom of accuracy. Leave your shoes untied, you're bound to trip. Kiss the girl, it could be a risk. There are moments we can never dream of. Smile from a neighbor in a wave, moonlight cascading onto us, planes mistaken for stars, wishes at 11:11, darkness and shadows weighing heavily on our chest, brick upon brick stacking in our lungs, making it hard to breathe, concrete for feet as we attempt to swim in the deepest of our sins. What then? Despair? Apathy? Are we already dead? No. Famous poem said, don't ask me if I'm okay if I'm being silent. I'm just practicing. Let us practice, let us pray. Let the sun kiss us with its rays. Let the moon move at their own pace. Let us not force fate, but instead be ready for whatever it decides to bring. Ready for whatever it takes. There are moments we will look back on and wish there was another way. There are moments we will look back on and know it is how it needed to be. There are moments we will look back on and know it is what it is. All we can do is use our hands to help build these moments. Use our strength in our backs to lift our concrete feet, and use the air in our lungs to push the monsters up and out of our throats. Swim in this ocean with me. Play pretend in the summer heat with me. Let's dream big and be ready when the heavens give us bigger. All this is say the audience today. Poetry is important for the dark and for the day. Paint it with words, adjectives, verbs, alliterations, and do not be reserved. Rest your weary head, relax your tilted spine. Have it in your teeth, then remember to breathe. This next one's called Fairy Breaths. I actually am going to try to be a little bit dramatic with this. I swear to God, when I have it memorized, it's going to do numbers. Fairy Breaths, this is based off the very first time I went to Ren Fair, which was very recently. Okay, so I'll try to do this the way I had it in mind. Again, if I get loud, I'm sorry. She brought me the fairy, she brought me the myth, she brought me forgiveness as a gift. Wait, if it's okay, I'll try that again. This one's called Fairy Breaths. She brought me the fairy, she brought me the myth, she brought me forgiveness as a gift! She asked for nothing, and I was swept up by everything. All the sin and all the darkness, forgotten by the soft scent. Someone call it lavender, I call it soft as the clouds I now float forever in. It was meant to have something. If I was meant to have something, it was this. We waltz, we wonder, we wonder. We wait in the arms. We approach heaven with a worried gaze. Are these the gates? I see wings, I see swords, I see the aim. It was a shot from a distance. It was a sound in my heart. If this is forever, yeah, it's a good start. So patient are the hands, so movement are the lips. Press the cheek and tongue to tongue. If I lose light tonight, yeah, it's gonna be okay, everybody. The memory is so bright, I can make it through. Approach the arrow, suffer the pull. This bow is strong for two. Yeah, thank you all.
Come on, y'all, give him a hand. Next up, we've got Quincy. So everybody put your hands together.
I think you have more of my clothes in your house than I do in my own closet. This is hyperbolic, of course, but within the last 2 months of us being together, you have stolen my hoodie, my favorite cardigan, 2 pairs of my shirts, a pair of my pajamas, and a pair of shorts, which I have subsequently gifted to you. But that's besides the point. We are going to merge wardrobes at some point, not because we've moved in together, but because you've stolen all of my go-to fits right off my body. It's never outright theft. It's your parents knocking on your bedroom door and you're scrambling to find clothes. It's, oh, baby, are you cold? Here's my hoodie. It's, what do you mean you have 2 of my shirts and one of them is pink? I only own 1 pink shirt. Where did you get that from? Okay, that one might have been my fault. I tend to leave pieces of myself scattered across your floor. If it's not my clothes, it's a phone charger. If it's not that, then my bonnet, and if it's not that, it's my head and my heart. There's nothing that fills me with joy more than getting a snap of you in my shirt. My mind pauses when you're wearing my clothes. I think it's silly. You won't give them back because it smells like me. It reminds you of me. You still want me to linger on your body when I'm away. The clothes probably smell more like you do. I mean, my cardigan has been in your possession for like 3 months. But as long as you love me, steal my clothes, my wallet, my heart, my body, and mind. But please, wash them though. It's really not that serious. It's just a little sadder. It's not sadder, it's just darker. It's called agoraphobia. When I say I don't leave my house, I mean that shit. You might be thinking, oh, the irony, I'm performing this not in my house, I'm outside right now. But what you don't know is that it took me hours of trying to leave. I've been up since 8 a.m. just pondering my existence, dreading being here prematurely, trying to weasel my way out of having to leave the house. What if something bad happens? What if someone hits my car again? What if my partner can't go and I'm left here alone? What if I somehow manage to get tangled up so badly in my own clothes that I suffocate and die on the regal cotton fabric that I chose to make it easier to get out of the house because at least my skin won't be bothering me? Their sister says, "You're always over here." And I reply, "I don't leave my house. Well, if I do, it's because I am one of 4 places. School, work, anywhere my partner is, or my house." I feel bad for relying on them so much. It bothers me that I cannot go anywhere on my own. I cannot self-motivate enough to get out of my house without some external motivation. When I first moved here in June of 2023, the furthest I had ever gone was the Walmart in Radcliffe. The first time I went out into E-Town alone wasn't until June of 2025. For 2 whole years, my entire world was Radcliffe and Fort Knox, but anything further. I've been to Louisville maybe 5 times, and I've lived here for 3 years. Can you imagine? When I say I don't leave my house, it is not to be silly or quirky. It is a deeply rooted, irrational fear that keeps me bound to the confines of my room. Like a prisoner who has been locked inside by their own doom. The keys are sitting right there on the bedside table. They could leave at any point, but they stay because why leave? They get 3 meals, water, shelter. The wardens are nice. Why would they go anywhere? They don't know what it's like outside their cell. The cruelty of the world they remember. But there is beauty too. The flowers, the direct feeling of sunlight on their skin, the sounds of birds chirping, the freedom of driving a car, and the butterflies that come from new love. All of that is lost if I don't leave my cell. I mean, I am getting braver. I'm here, aren't I? Sure. I was sitting outside, like just after the rain, and that's what this was. The smell of rain is something I'll never forget. It calms the never-ending smell of manure that bleeds into the city, leaving the smell of the earth, clean water and mud, and a freshly cut lawn behind. The sticky, stuffy air from before the storm has dissipated, leaving behind a cool, soft, gentle breeze that rustles through the tree leaves. This is the worst time for mosquitoes, but this is the best time to be outside. And there is something about that symbiotic relationship that fascinates me endlessly.
Yeah. Their poetry, come on back here on, let me see here, the 6th of September. It will be a double feature. We will have Quincy and Koa together, so make sure to come out for that. One of my favorites, Mr. Bob Ernst. Everybody put your hands together for Bob.
Is she trippy?
Yes, she did.
I saw my goodness.
She's
Trying to trip you.
It was a love trip.
wrote this first one in response to the prompt, referencing the prompt in the title. And it goes from there, so just kind of go with it, okay? I opened the door that mysteriously appeared before me. This poem was written at 2 a.m. on July 5th, 2026, the 7th anniversary of the death of my dad, Robert Andrew Ernst, known on the streets as Baba or Aber, with a nod of gratitude to the movie Field of Dreams. I watched him there at the bar, the tip of his cigarette burning bright as he drew a breath, then blew out acrid smoke, the cloud from his mouth billowing into the pall that hung over the entire room. He threw a raucous laugh through perfect teeth in the face of the guy on the stool beside him. "Your ass," he swore, and took a swig of Huda Bowl, flat in a glass, sitting on the bar in front of him. The air smelled like men and smoke and stale beer, but the hubbub spoke of camaraderie, the kind of kinship a man would look for in his day when his days were filled with monotony, the work required of a father old enough to be responsible, but still too young to bear it without help. I rose from my chair at a table for kids where I was eating Cracker Jacks with my siblings and approached him at the bar. "Hey, Dad, is this heaven?" He said, "No, son, it's Wag's Cafe." I found this poem in a stack of papers on a bookshelf. I wrote it, I was teaching GED classes at the time, so that was sometime between 2007 and 2012. Anyway, it's called GED, a reflection on that experience, which was absolutely incredible, but also very challenging. You come as you are, with mohawk and tattoos, a blue and red Madonna, your dad for whom you grieve, barbed wire snaked around your arm, your felony on your sleeve, demons from a bottle or packaged ecstasy blot out past regrets and cover scars I'll never see. You cling to faith to overcome your doubt and lack of self-esteem and babies at 14. You're here to satisfy the law, to clear this hoop, to mend this flaw, or maybe just to bide your time until you turn 18. I offer incantations to ward off the social stigma that you face from your decision to give high school a reprieve. Carry the one and borrow from the tens. Mr. Bob, I don't get it. Can you do it again? Tell me why you use that comma. Do you mean to say don't never? Man, my writing really sucks. I'm going to be here forever. Hang on, I say. Do homework. Keep on trying. But if truth be known, I have my doubts, and honestly, I'd be lying if I said I know you will succeed. That's up to you and the gods of learning and the phases of the moon and all those things I can't control. But when you walk into my room, I share with you a sad regret, yet hope that we can do it. You come with gifts, the you bring, your easy laugh and the will to make it through it. And I'm aware that though I teach, I'm also here to learn. You share life's lessons candidly and give me more than I'll ever earn.
All right, next up we've got Meredith, and I believe Meredith has copies of art and her new book. I'm sure Meredith would love to tell you a little bit about it. So everybody, hands together, Meredith.
Alright, hello. So I do have my book with me. It is, I think everyone here, except maybe a few, know of it already. When the moon meets the sun, this is the moon, so the first part of a 3-part series. I'm going to start out reading from the book, so one from the book and then 2 new shits. So I also have original illustrations within the book as well that I created and placed in there, so I have prints of those with me as well. The first one, so you'll notice a theme to all of my pieces. But the first one is callous. The death toll continues to rise. People are dying because it cracks, it bleeds, shreds skin on contact. Watching from the warmth, the blanket of security. All they needed was somewhere to place their aching feet. But yet, you watch. Doors latched and locked, thankful you and your loved ones are safe. Why does it only matter if it happens to you? We are all one, why can't I wish I had the words. I wish I had the power to scream away, staring at my screen at yet another happening. Ripping away at the seams, oozing the infection that's spreading faster than light can travel. The world still rotates, time still passes, but the weight suffocates. Okay, the next one is going to be from the prompt of the floating doors. I did not have time to edit it or write it down because I'm reading it from my phone, but it also isn't edited, so yes. Okay, it also does not have a title. I don't title my things until I place them in books usually. Okay. Every morning, same routine, but something feels different today. I went through all the possibilities in my head, psychological reasoning, a recognition that shows the pattern is off, but nothing. It is a hum underneath my skin, a vibration in my bones. As my feet fall into place, gracefully held by the grooves in the grass that have long since been created, a butterfly landed on my nose. When it took flight, it was in a direction I have yet to explore. My eyes followed the light it's being guided toward. Sprouted from the grass, but with invisible roots, stood ancient wisdom curved in a pattern, annual rings. I could still smell the sandalwood as if the aroma was just being released into the world for the first time. Met with confusion when searching for a shadow underneath. It was as if the door was in a different realm than where my body stood. Eyes and brain grasping to make sense of the senseless. The world seemed to stop spinning, my feet inching closer without recognition as if my body was being magnetized. Bubbled and warmed, I edges of the door and the frame, both intricately crafted with swirls and flora and animals, like a language I was trying to remember. When my hand found the knob, there was a sensation that ran through my body, one that must be experienced to be understood, language not being enough to describe. Before I could turn the knob, the world began opening up, lights spewing out, engulfing me. I felt myself moving, but seeing the form that held my body. My soul traveled, breaking through the veil of time. When I met myself on the other side, each formed by expanding within itself, a trail of gold leading hence, but only serving as a suggestion. Creator, take your time. After all, it is just a construct. The knowledge is within you. Stay present. Find solace in the stillness. Revel in the joy of exploration. This is your playground, a chance to ascend. What's been given to you is to be absorbed and analyzed, used to place a path for shared enlightenment. Okay, so I think we all had the same idea. This one is about the forest. Also does not have a title. It's been 250 years. Really, that's not that long of a time if you think about it. It's only been long enough for the chemical reaction to begin, causing sparks. I feel the pressure boiling and rising. Everything is about to blow, lighting up the sky. People reveling in its glory, saying that it is beautiful. Really, it's tragic. Causing smoke to hide the truth. Built on the backs of people to stand on the backs of others, shoving poison in the turtle's belly, the glow illuminating the people trying to survive on the ground. Celebrate if you must. Use it as a vice. History will still be here when you come down from the sky. All that has given the flag its red stripe. The system continues to feed, spinning you around to lose your direction. It's not too late to step out.
Make sure to talk to them about the book that she's got up here. It looks like it's $30 for the book. Seems like a good deal to me. Next up, we got Amanda Gardner. So everybody put your hands together.
Do we want to start off with the depressing one or the happy ones first? So, recently I have on writing a story. And at this point, I was working on another poem for poetry workshop that Coach has every month. And I started this poem in that workshop. I'm going to be writing another poem. It's new. It's not going to be a happy one. And then this is what came out. If I write another poem, it will not be a happy one. It will be infused with fury at the state of the world, laced with the loneliness I've never escaped, woven with the worries that hound me every day. If I write another poem, it will not be filled with hope, because what hope I have has been drowned out by the weight of just existing. What light I have is dim and not enough to cast away my dread and devastation. If I write another poem, It will not be anything like a melody. The song I want to sing can't make its way out of my too tight throat. The beat that should accompany it is my too fast heart, threatening to leave my body because I myself am not allowed. If I write another poem, it will not be the smile I plaster on for those around me. It will be tears and shaking that finally make their way past the cheerful mask I wear to comfort others and the temporary coping mechanisms that keep me standing here longer than I thought I would. If I write another poem, it will be the truth I try to run from because I have promises to keep. It will be the vulnerable part of me I'm afraid you'll think is weak, because I sure as hell do. It will be my broken bones and bleeding heart. If I write another poem, I wrote another poem. It's not pretty, but do you mind if I share it? This one is lighter. So I'm a big romantasy reader. I like Akatar and Fourth Wing and all the stuff like that. So when I was recently asked out on a date, I joked to my mom, he doesn't wield shadows or have a dragon. So then I decided to write a poem based on that. When she asked why, I turned down the last guy who asked me out. I said I have dreams. And because I read romantasy, I added, jokingly, he doesn't wield shadows or have a dragon. It was a joke, of course. Sort of. Except I do want a love that sets the world ablaze and bends the shadows to its will, metaphorically. A love that sits in the darkness with me and flies me far away until we found ourselves at home. I want that feeling that I get in the center of my chest when my favorite MMC says, well, anything. Because why intertwine a life with mine if it's not something extraordinary? So when I've read before, I think I've mentioned a couple times that I am a romantic asexual. I constantly have to explain that to people when they get confused, so I wrote a poem about that. How do I explain this? How do I articulate these two seemingly incompatible parts of myself to people? And so I wrote a poem about it. This one is called Loud. This one did have a name. I'm loud about being aromantic. I'm loud about being an asexual. I'm loud about being a romantic asexual because my very existence confuses the fuck out of people. How do I explain to you that sex does not equal romance? How do I explain that there's a difference to me between lust and longing? How do I explain what I mean by yearning? Because I do yearn, believe me. And that is when I baffle them the most, when I mention the guy I pined for, or the men in my books who make me swoon. I swoon too, by the way. Shocking, I know. That I could be swayed by wit and charm and someone's soul without wanting to give them my body. I don't want there to be any confusion. If I catch someone's eye, which always catches me by surprise, I don't want to waste your time or mine. You need to know if I can't give you what you want. And you need to know I won't be changing my mind. So I am loud. Loud enough for those who care about me to understand. Loud enough to ward off unwanted advances. Loud enough, I hope, for the right person to recognize me.
More time for a manly, y'all. That was fantastic. Larry R. Yeah, put your hands together for Larry.
So I had created this illustration a while ago, and I decided to write a poem to accompany it. The title is I Can't. There once was a man named Uncle Sam. He represented a country, but didn't give a damn. Can you provide affordable health care? Ask. To which Uncle Sam replied, I can't. That's too big of a task. The people then asked, can you help with housing? Our rent is too high. With no shame, Uncle Sam said, I can't, but nice try. Finally, the people begged, can you help with groceries? The cost of food makes us sob. To which Uncle Sam said, I can't. That's not my job. The people then cried, what can you do? We're all sinking faster and faster. Uncle Sam shrugged. You should know this by now. I only serve my rich masters. Very well. Jay. So everybody put your hands together.
Okay, so about a week ago, as Pride Month was coming to an end, I was realizing that I'm also coming up on my last month in this country. I'm going off to law school, so this is going to be the last one of these about it, and it's also the last month I get to be here at home. And that was stopping me from writing so good. So I had to look for some other poems that I had drawn inspiration from in the past. So I'm going to break form for a bit. So this first one, I only have two that are mine that I want to read now. So this first one isn't mine. This is Willie Carver, called A Guy Named Casey Who I Had Never Met. When I was in high school, I had a friend who had already graduated. And she and her mother used to talk about a guy named Casey, who was gay and moved on to live in a bigger city. And though he was gay, they only ever said nice things about him. I saw something ugly scribbled in the broken handwriting of a sort of broken person who writes ugly things on bathroom walls and gas stations. And it was written about Casey, who I had never met. I scrubbed as hard as I could, until his name faded away from the bathroom in the town he had fled. And I sat in my car and cried for a guy named Casey who I had never met. 20 years later, I heard a man named Casey introduce himself. His voice held the round, quicksand vowels and smoky tempo of the hills. And though we were 3 hours away from that blotted name at the gas station, I knew it was him. I asked if he was from that town, and if he knew that long-graduated friend and her mother. And Casey said yes. So I told him about how much his ghost had mattered to me. Since, though gay and a ghost, he had left an echo of being loved that gave me hope. And I told him how I erased his name from the bathroom in the gas station. He hugged me tight like we were old friends, and we both cried, even though we had never met. He asked me if I was okay. I told him yes. Got back to that poem, it made me realize the thing I was going to miss most about Kentucky was how tightly knit the queer community here is by nature. And it got me to write it. And I wrote 2 poems within the last week, and both of them would have started the same way without that poem, but they would not have been made as happy as they do. This is called My True Home. I sit on top of Old Smoky. I take in it all. The birds will sing far brown until the last tree falls. I'd like to take my last breath out where the crawdads still sing. Come hell and high water, won't it mean so much to me? Out where no one would bother us, we build a house with the wind. You learn to live with the river, babe, and end up under the green. But hey, I'd say life's not better in this spruced up old town. We were just two wayfaring strangers who thought they'd found solid ground. See, my home ain't the mountains. My home is their song. My home is the banjo, been strumming all along. So wherever we may go, and whatever we do, just hum me a melody to bring home along with you. I'd have chased you to Cali and forgot my way home, if you only had asked me to roll away that stone. But the crickets still play me a lullaby tonight. How'd I end up in Boston? Somehow I'm feeling alright. Cause my home ain't the mountains, my home is their song. Alright, and this last one I actually came in here and wasn't gonna read, but I sat at that back table and wrote 8 more lines of it after walking in, so I was like, I have to read this. So I do use some Cherokee language in this, so some necessary knowledge is Gegeyu means I love you, and Gegeyu Soi means I love you, but in like a perpetual, habitual manner. It's not reading to write. If you must live our poetry, then writing's dead. Surely this incessant need must mean I have all too little time left. I remember sitting on this bench with you with no thoughts in my head, but looking out at those trees now, it leaves me searching for words I could have said. I've settled on Gegeyu, because in English it never sounded so sweet. And I still see your face, truly hidden in every stranger I meet. I might add sui on the ends to let you know it's a habit unbroken, but does it even need that? It's so strong it goes unspoken. I may yet move on from you, but I still will not get over it. We have become family. That's a truth I will not forget.
Own poetry. Ember put your hands together.
Are you saying you want one? Yeah. That's fine. You're welcome.
Hello. Hello. Ember, you almost made me cry. I appreciate that a lot. I didn't think I was going to read today. I didn't think I wrote this month, but right before I came in here, I looked at my phone and I scrolled through my notes app, and 3 poems just appeared. I don't know where they came from. They're in my notes app, so they're mine.
Okay.
They are untitled, so new shit.
New shit!
Oh, I lied. They are titled. Some of them. The first one is called Clouds. It's May again, and this time around, I am blooming with the flowers. Early summer is finally what it was always meant to be. Excitement. A slow awakening. Sipping tea or coffee as a little treat for choosing to be out of hibernation. It's May again, and I can't stop thinking about what I told my therapist when she asked what keeps me alive. The clouds, the sky. I told her I find the ones I love in the great beyond. I picked out which strokes they've made this morning, and I will do it again tonight. I am no painter, at least not yet, but I still take in the reminders of their existence like I have every morning before. Like I know I will next May, in a new house with the person I adore. I cannot wait to hold on. This next one is called Intentional. I tell you that you kissed me so intentionally. In the same fashion you once told me my mouth hangs open after you've pulled away. When I'm not ready for our lips to part ways, every inch between us, an ocean expanding. Expanding when I get up to use the restroom after, when I roll over in the morning light filtering through the blinds, your back like a monument of bronze that I want to solidify. So centuries later, the great-great-great-grandchildren of the children we have yet to create can appreciate the art that is this quiet mornings, the quiet mornings spent with you. When we blow each other kisses, parting ways as I take my exit off the highway, driving to our separate houses, but now my lights are red, and I've got my right thigh over your left shoulder. We are one, as if we were born this way, as if that way is the way we are meant to be. Entangled in so much love and sweat and perfume, every kiss on my lips feels calculated, soft lips and rough teeth. The taste of your metal is my favorite. And in the morning, I'll wish this flavor to go with every morning cup of coffee after. This last one is written after a birthday party with my friends, and the next morning we were here at Flywheel, and I was late to yoga Mondays, so I just watched them from afar. It's 2 haikus put together. Stretch your hips, my beloved. Let me speak glimpses across the room, the space between us, an ocean. Oh, to write my worst kept secret, everyone in this bar must know I wore this dress for you. The way my lips are matching the cherries dotted about, red and juicy. Thank you.
Got my good friend James Tucker, so put your hands together for James.
Alright. Check. Okay. I just kind of chose these sonnets at random. So, butcher them, I'm sorry. First one is Sonnets by the Night Sea by George Sterling. The wind of night is mighty on the deep, a presence haunting sea and land again. Then that wind upon the watery haste hath been, that wind upon the desert soon shall sweep. O vast and mournful spirit, wherefore keep a vigil at the fleeting homes of men, then who need no voice of thine to tell them when is come the hour to labor or to sleep. From waste to waste thou goest, art dumb. Before the morning, patient is her tree. The bird awaits until thy strength hath passed, forgetting darkness when the day is come. With other tidings hast thou burdened me, whom desolations harbor at the last. This is one I chose by, like I said, just randomly. Siegfried Sassoon, the poet as hero. You heard me scornful, harsh, and discontented, mocking and loathing war. You asked me why. Of my old silly sweetness I repented, my ecstasies changed to an ugly cry. You are aware that once I sought the grail, riding in armor bright, serene, and strong. and it was told that through my infant will there rose immortal semblances of song. But now I've said goodbye to Galahad. I am no more the knight of dreams and show. For lust and senseless hatred from me glad, and my killed friends are with me where I go. Wound for red, wound that burn to smite their wrongs, and there is absolution in my songs. One, of course, from Shakespeare that I found. Kind of going through a mental love spell, I say. So, those lips that love's own hand did make, breathed forth the sound that said, I hate. To me that languished for her sake, but when he saw my woeful state, straight in her heart did mercy come, chiding that tongue that ever sweet, refused in giving gentle doom, and taught us thus anew to greet. I hate she altered with an end, that thou followed in a gentle day. Thou follow night, who like a fiend from heaven to hell is thrown away. I hate from the hate away she threw, and saved my life, saying, not you.
James Tucker, y'all. So that is the last name on the sign-up sheet. Is there anybody here who would like to share some poems before I do? Okay. I'm going to share 3 sonnets, and then I say we take a 10-minute break, and then if we want to, we could do a lightning 1 poem round. So if you'd like to do that, the sign-up sheet is over here, and if your name is already on it, just put a check mark by it. All right. This is Nocturne midway through Armageddon. I've been out all night running with these hungry coyotes, burning through my body's reserve, hunting out easy meals, learning how to be in a pack of other scavengers, how to take what is needed for survival every night, and where to lay low during interminable days, where the farmer keeps his stash of chickens and plump brown eggs, where he hides his homebrew and how long he takes to pass out. I learned to lure out his blind hounds, lead them to the pack, how to sing counterpoint to their song of hot suffering, how we gave ourselves standing ovations and savored shit and dried mucus like a brown sugar glaze on moldy meatloaf. We sang to the full blue moon like Trappist monks' vespers. We sang like we were in the Abbey of Gethsemane, midway through Armageddon, pouring flames from our bellies, our halos of fire burn our fur, yours bald. Angel, if I tossed you off this bridge, would you even fly? You've been posing heraldic under neon all night, laughing until your thick makeup ran under your dark eyes like ice flows that come and go until they stay gone, exposing the preternaturally pale scars below, the kind you get from a lifetime of lifetimes lived each night, the kind you clean out, then refill with all the trash of this life. If you know you're an angel, you know I'm the saint. We've just slipped. We've been falling so long we forgot there was a bottom, pulling off our fingernails, trying to clutch something still. We learned to live with ourselves because there was no one else. Now that a pinprick of light hurtles toward us, we find each other leaving the last bar we'll ever enter. The atheists we are, we prayed with every kiss we shared.
Hell yeah.
This one's called Cliche Armageddon with Gabriel's Horn. Who would have thought the soundtrack to the end of the world would be the Village People's 1978 hit single YMCA? With its cast of costume singers, with its pop horns and jaunty bass driven by a kick drum as insistent as a grand jury indictment should be. Who would have thought God's first bowl of wrath would exfoliate how we downed the second and threw up a brand new ocean teeming with teams of new abominations, heresies. We opened our poison veins and dosed all our waterways. The fists grew legs and strode out onto the beach and shot up. The sun continued flashing its forked tongue at all of us. When the angels came back with God's final 3 bowls, we laughed. The phantasmagoria of their wings and eyes tickled. After a kaleidoscopic Armageddon, we fucking sing. Sign up list, cookies. We do this again. One poem.
These are really freaking good.
They're really good, right?
Yeah.
I know. She was like, I made you a secret stash of them. I'm like, I'm gonna be so fat. Probably turn this off so we just don't talk about cookies for